Hello everyone. Hope you remember in the last lecture we studied about variation in the band structure, wherein we understand the basic difference between insulators and semiconductors and how semiconductors are basically behave like insulators at 0 Kelvin. However, with the source of some source of excitation, they can be converted to the semiconducting stage where some of the electrons from the valence band can shift to the conduction band. Now today we'll understand the further categorization of semiconductors, that is direct semiconductors and indirect semiconductors. I made this EK diagram. EK diagram is nothing but a graphical representation of allowed values of the energy versus the propagation constant. This is basically this one is giving you the conduction band, and this one is basically a valence band. Now, why the this energy band diagrams are basically parabolic in nature? This we will understand mathematically in the next lecture when we will understand the effective mass. But as of now, you just assume that the energy bands are parabolic in nature. So this is basically the minimum of the conduction band, and this is the maximum of the valence band. This is the valence band, and this is conduction band. You can write it like here: conduction band, and this is valence band. So this is the maxima, this is minima. Same case here. This is representing conduction band having minima here, and this is the valence band having maxima here. So minima of the conduction band and maxima of the valence band. Now this diagram is representing direct semiconductor where both the conduction band minima and the valence band maxima, both of them are having the same k value. K value is basically what we have assumed that electron is having some wave function. It is propagating in a particular direction. Let us suppose here we have assumed some say direction x we are assuming. So if electron is having a particle wave nature and having some wave propagation constant, and that wave propagation constant is represented by this propagation constant k, so which is basically a space dependent function. So this k value for electron which is in the conduction band as well as in the valence band is same in case of direct semiconductors. However, in case of indirect semiconductors, the electron which lies in the conduction band is having some different k value. We can see from here it is not on the same axis, so it is having different k value. So if electron has to come from conduction band to the valence band, it have to do an indirect transition. But here, if electron has to come from conduction band minima to the valence band maxima, it can do a direct transition. So based on this transition, we have categorized these semiconductors as direct or indirect semiconductors. We can say this is the band gap, e.g., where in case of direct semiconductors, electron can do a direct transition from conduction band minima to the valence band maxima. And when it will do this direct transition, it will do a photo emission. So because of this photo emission, most of the direct semiconductors can be utilized in the properties of lasers or LEDs and so on. However, in case of indirect semiconductors, electron has to do indirect transition. First, it will come at some different level, and then from there it will transit to the valence band maxima. So this different level is basically known as the defect level. So yeah, mentioned here clearly, direct transition with accompanying photo emission, where h nu is nothing but the representing the discrete nature of light. And about indirect transition is basically via defect level. So this ET is nothing but a defect level. So this is what I have written here, that we are considering an electron that travels across a perfect periodic lattice, and the wave function of the electron is assumed in the form of a plane wave. So we are assuming that electron is propagating along a particular x direction, which I represented in this diagram. This is x direction, and the propagation constant is assumed to be k. So with propagation constant k, which is also called as wave vector. Now the space dependent function of the electron is, we can write psi x, because we are dealing with the quantum mechanics and we understand already well this term psi, which is nothing but a space dependent wave function. And this we in great detail we understand this about this psi in Schrodinger wave equation, potential well problem, and all, where it is nothing but a continuous and having some finite value. So this psi, which is we are considering along the x direction only, is given by this u and e to the power jkx, where u is nothing but the wave function according to the periodicity of the lattice. So this is just for the mathematical representation they have represent. So what we have done, we have plotted a load values of energy versus the propagation constant. So this is also known as ek diagram. This is E and this is K. So this is a minima in the conduction band and maximum in the valence band. Now we can take an example of direct semiconductor and indirect semiconductors. Direct semiconductors, for example, gallium arsenide, compound semiconductors, and in case of indirect semiconductors is, for example, you can take the silicon. In gallium arsenide, it has minimum in the conduction band, maximum in the valence band for the same K value, that is K is equal to 0 on the same way, on the same line, same axis. Whereas in case of silicon, it has valence band maxima at different values of K than its conduction band minima. So in case of gallium arsenide, an electron can make a direct transition, which is very smallest energy transition from the conduction band to the valence band, and can do so without change in K. Whereas in case of silicon, there is a transition from minimum point of the conduction band to the maximum point of the valence band, and it requires some change in K. So indirect transition generally involve change in the K value, and therefore there is a change in the momentum as well as the energy. So this is the basic difference we have done. Direct semiconductors, their propagation constant is same. In the case of the indirect semiconductor, their propagation constant changes because they have to come to some different level that is known as a defect level. So here energy difference is given off as a photon of light. So here energy difference is generally given as heat to the lattice rather than the emitted photon. So heat to the lattice means will face the dissipation problems. So there is no change in momentum. Here there is a change in momentum as well as energy. So perfect example is gallium arsenide, and this example is silicon. So this is all about direct semiconductors and indirect semiconductors. Thank you.